Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at this week's Sunday Preview. This video was sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Sunday Preview. Horrors in the Underhells and the Dwarves in the Old World. The many worlds of Warhammer are full of dangerous environments. And in next week's Saturday pre-order, we're dipping into one of the most hostile places going, Hive Secundus. The war-torn lands of the Old World are only slightly safer, but the furrowed burrows and tightly gripped axes of the Dwarves are going to make them a little more troublesome for anyone who has courted their ire. So there is a little video right here, but we're going to take a look at the full article. Alright, so first off we have the long-awaited Hive Secundus coming to Necromunda. Venture into the ruined underhells of Hive Secundus and the new expansion for Necromunda. 8 Vansar tech hunters aiming to pillage rare tech from the dark depths of the Hive Secundus are joined by 2 Aurus Spire hunters and a Caryatid Prime with a deadlier purpose, hunting gene stealers. The corrupted Malstrain brood is composed of 6 Malstrain gene stealers, 4 Malstrain Tyramites, and 8 brood scum enthralled to the brood mind. Alright, so this is a official new expansion for Necromunda. It does come with the old style, like real basic little bits of terrain. It's got its brand new rulebook with a campaign inside. And then of course we have the board, the dice, all of your like measuring devices, templates, all that good stuff, the cards, and then the models as well. Hive Secundus comes with a Necromunda bulkhead terrain set containing 5 barricades and 2 doors, 2 double-sided paper playing surfaces representing the desolate paths of the Underhells. A 176-page softback Necromunda Hive Secundus rulebook contains lashings of lore and rules for playing games of Necromunda, excluding vehicle rules, as well as a self-contained Underhells campaign in which Secundus incursion gangs risk their lives to loot pitch-black ruins swarming with gene stealers. Alright, so here we see all of the models from the Gene Stealer Cult / Tyranid half of the box set. Really nice new sculpts right here. Definitely a big fan of the new look for the Gene Stealers. A nice chunky new character. And then of course we've got like some of the basic Gene Stealer Cult Hive Scum with the upgrade sprue. And then the little Caryatids. And then we've got the Vansar and new Spire Aurus models, as well as the little companion. Really nice new sculpts right here. Definitely a big fan of these. And then we know there's going to be more of the Spire Hunters coming with a future expansion, as they've already showed off another box set that you'll be able to build a myriad of other Spire Hunters. So very cool. Nice looking new models right here. And definitely super excited for Hive Secundus. You'll also get a deck of Hive Secundus cards featuring the Arco Loot cards, Underhell's Territory cards, Malstrain Forces Fighter cards, and Blank Fighter cards, as well as a token board, a ruler, 2 blast markers, and a flamer template, 2 rules reference sheets, and 16 Necromunda dice. So this is cool because it is a self-contained expansion, but it is an expansion nonetheless. It's not going to have any of the vehicle rules as we're back into the indoor setting. But so far from what we've seen previewed and shown off for what's coming in Secundus, this is really awesome. Definitely a lot of new stuff coming, including a terrain pack, the rest of like the Spire Hunters. We've seen some other characters for the Gene Stealer cults as well. So definitely a big release for Necromunda and long awaited. Alright, and then next we have for the terrain for Necromunda, the Hive data stack clusters are packed with an invaluable data crystals from a forgotten age of enlightenment. This box will allow you to furnish your Hive Secundus boards with 2 of these, which feature additional storage alcoves and removable data crystal stacks. So these are some nice little pieces of terrain right here, going to add a lot of flavor to your actual games. And then of course there's going to be like some special mission rules and everything that coincide with these. And these will be nice for like 40k or any of the other like Games Workshop 41st Millennia games as well. So really cool. 2 of these in a box set. Nice setup right here. Alright, and then we have the ruined Zone Mortalis pieces. So this is a lot of the existing Zone Mortalis stuff, but in a ruined condition, as Hive Secundus has been basically decimated in an attempt to clear out the infestation, which was obviously unsuccessful. Transform your terrain board into the shattered innards of Hive Secundus with the Ruined Zone Mortalis set. It contains 24 pieces of terrain, including damaged and ruins columns, walls, and doors that can be used on their own or combined with existing Zone Mortalis terrain kits, plus a whole selection of extra detritus to really add atmosphere and interest to your boards. So really cool. This is a nice little expansion pack for current existing Zone Mortalis setups, as you'll be able to basically take like your regular stuff, add in a bunch of damage stuff, and really give it that Hive Secundus feel. And unfortunately the Hive Secundus set comes with like the weak older styled bulkheads and everything. Pretty lackluster terrain. This expansion pack is going to be nice to take it to the next level, but I do think that that was important for Games Workshop to keep the actual price down, because I think a lot of the problem they've been having with Necromunda lately is they're trying to pack too much terrain into these box sets, and it makes the price super high, which makes the sales super low, and makes it a lot harder for new players to get into the game. So they're kind of going back to their roots, making it a more basic setup with a lot of models and minimal terrain, but everything you need to play your games, and then they're selling the terrain in expansion packs, which I think overall is probably going to do better. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now, back to the video. Alright, and then next we have the Proxy and Fixer. Managing relationships between factions and every bit as important as winning violent skirmishes, which makes these two hangers-on valuable assets for any ambitious gang leader. The Proxies acts as a middleman between the guilders and the outlaw gangs, dressed in aristocratic finery to really sell their legitimacy. The Fixer is no-nonsense individual who comes to ease tensions with the guilders when they're at their lowest point. Both miniatures are made from forgeworld resin. So these will be coming from forgeworld. Nice little sculpts right here, definitely unique, and I like the little bit of like lore and backstory behind them. And then we have the Carta Galactica, the Secundus Exclusion Zone. Adorn the walls of your gang hideout with this new poster map of the Secundus Exclusion Zone. Measuring 1,000 millimeters by 890 millimeters, it's a large poster that details the area of ash waste known as the Secundus Exclusion Zone. It is packed full of details and Easter eggs for long-term Necromunda fans to obsess over. Alright, and then next moving into Warhammer the Old World with the Dwarven Mountain Holds. Expand your army beyond the list of the Forces of Fantasy book with the Arcane journal Dwarven Mountain Holds, a 48-page supplement featuring new rules, background lore, and scenarios. You'll find profiles for 3 named characters, all 3 of whom were also at large during the era of Karl Franz, and a host of special units including the legendary Goblin Hewer and more Dogs of War options. There are 2 armies of infamy, allowing you to field a royal clan and an expeditionary force, as well as new runes and runic tattoos. Alright, and then we have the Dwarven Mountain Hold Battalion. So the dwarves are finally arriving, and I know people have been asking about these for a while now, so this has got to be super exciting for dwarf players. Lay the foundation of a legendary army with a battalion box jammed with ornery bearded warriors. A solid battle line of 32 dwarf warriors is supported by a further 32 quarrelers, which can also be built as gun-wielding thunderers, while 2 gyrocopters soar overhead spitting deadly firepower or dropping destructive bombs when alternatively built as gyro bombers. So here's the Dwarven launch box. Quite a few miniatures in this box set, including a couple of the gyrocopters. We've got basically like the new battle tome for the dwarves as well, with a couple of different ways to run them, and then the new characters. So basically everything you need to fully flesh out your dwarf army. And then we have the Dwarven Mountain Holds reference card pack, dice set, and transfer sheet. So you have your actual reference cards, your new Dwarven dice, and then of course a transfer sheet. And then we have Ungrim Ironfist, the Slayer King of Karak Kadrin. So new forgeworld resin model right here, nice new sculpt, and definitely much nicer than the old stuff. Really cool character right here. And then we have a plastic Dwarf Lord with shield breakers. So again, really cool sculpt right here. We've got the dwarves holding up like the Dwarven King on top of the shield, and then an additional dwarf character to go along with them, and these will be coming in plastic. And then coming in forgeworld resin, we have the Dwarf Thane with Handgun and Oathstone. Again, just really nice sculpts right here. I mean, the new stuff compared to the old stuff is basically like night and day. This is a really cool looking model right here. Definitely a big fan. Holding the pipe in one hand and the gun in the other. Love the dwarf helm with the big wings on it. And then we've got a bunch of Dwarven character classics coming back here. So again, some nice looking sculpts right here. Even though these are a little bit on the dated side, they're much nicer than some of like the original dwarf stuff. As we get into a few of these though, you can definitely tell the difference between the old stuff and the new stuff, but a lot of nostalgia in some of these models that have been out of print for literally decades. And then we got a bunch of classic dwarf troops as well, so very monopose right here, definitely very dated, but again, a lot of nostalgia for people that were playing back in the day. But comparing some of this stuff to the Sigmar models, you can definitely tell how far Games Workshop has come. So really cool, nice little packs right here for your infantry, a lot of stuff coming back for the dwarves. A lot of people have been long awaiting these models and the opportunity to pick them up once again. So very cool. And then we also have some Dwarven mercenaries as well. And these are super old models. And again, you can just see how old these are and just what the sculpts look like relative to the new stuff. And a lot of these models have been replaced in like the Sigmar range with a new kind of reimagined version of them. And we can really see like the difference between those models and these. And then we also have some classic dwarf war engines as well. The catapults, the crossbow / ballista. We've got the Dwarven Cannon Flame Belcher. Really cool, and some awesome classics coming back. I'm sure a lot of people will be excited to get their hands on these, having not seen them in literally decades. And then we also have the Anvil of Doom returning, and then classic Bugman's Cart as well. So very cool. Nice little wrap up for the Dwarf release. And then moving on from there, we have the Adepta Sororitas datasheet cards for Warhammer 40k to go along with the recently released Codex. And then from Black Library, we have the Special Edition Dead Men Walking. So this is a limited edition, special edition copy right here. So if you are after this in particular, these have been selling out relatively quickly. People love the Death Corps of Krieg. So if you are after this one, we know this is going to sell out pretty quickly. We got the cool little barbed wire on the side here and everything. So very nice. So that is going to wrap it up for this week's pre-orders going live next Saturday. Super exciting for all the Necromunda players out there, and of course for the old world fantasy dwarf players as well. Let me know what you're most excited about, what you're going to be picking up. I'm definitely going to be grabbing up Hive Secundus and some of the terrain expansion packs, but I'm really waiting for the actual Spire Hunters, as hopefully that's going to be the thing that gets me back officially into playing Necromunda. Are you after the Dwarves? Are you after the Hive Secundus? Are you just waiting on those Sisters cards? Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. And as always, special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on Games Workshop products. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.